past. It's not necessarily consistent ongoing. But I am always interested in finding new channels that we can prospect, not only for ourselves, but for our clients. So it sounds like you're kind of an agency as well, though, then. That's really what you're offering, right?
Well, we work with people a couple ways. We do have like a full service model when we're working directly with businesses, and that's where we do the strategy and the prospecting and writing emails and setting everything up, and that's kind of like a monthly fee that's when we're working directly with a business. But the real secret sauce of what we've built is our platform. And we have this prospecting engine where we've got custom scrapers, enterprise data sources, micro worker type network, and the way we collect prospects and get information about them, that's what's really unique about what we do. So the way agencies traditionally have been working with us is on an on-demand basis. They put in a request. They're like, hey, I'm doing an SEO link building campaign to target sports bloggers for an athletic clothing company. And they're like, I want a domain authority of 50. They give us all these requirements, right? So we
Right.
go through, we find all those people, find the companies, the names, their email addresses, and a bunch of other metadata that is useful when doing those outreach campaigns. And so our platform's really broad. It can be used for a lot of things. Like I said, lead gen, influencer outreach, and it's kind of what's cool about the agency thing for us is we want to get it in the hands of like creative people that can come up with unique outreach campaigns, and it's kind of up to us to make these like really hard outreach campaigns possible by finding the right people.
I see. So you can provide just the contacts, and the agency can actually do the outreach.
Yeah, I mean, we work in both ways. Like I said, we've been kind of quoting people some like hybrid full service. Like they don't have the resources to do link building outreach, so they're like, oh, they want to do some on demand thing. Like whenever they have a client, they onboard a client. They're like, hey, we want to reach out to 100 influencers for link building, and so. But traditionally, people are just using us to build the prospect lists when they're an agency. Do you? Can I share my screen with you? I
Yeah,
can show you the platform, and it really helps solidify what it looks like.
sure.
Cool. A window. Sure. Okay. Tell me what you see.
Um,
Audiences.
no, it didn't come up yet. It looked like it's trying to do something.
Okay. Let me know when you see something. It says I'm sharing.
There we go.
Very
I got
cool.
it now.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the dashboard where we manage everything, and we've got a lot of agency features built in already. So I'll show you audiences first, the on-demand audience type feature, and then I'll show you kind of what a full-service campaign looks like. So if you have a client and they want to do some sort of link building campaign, you come over here, hit new audiences. You choose a type. Like I said, usually falls into sales and lead gen or influencer outreach. So I'll just choose the sales and lead gen for an example here. So basically, it's just a form you're presented with where you tell us exactly who you want to go after, how many prospects you want, tell us about the company, give us a few examples, tell us where they're located, what types of companies they are. Persona information is important and a priority, like you want to find a founder, a head of operations, a director of e-commerce. Basically, fill out this form, hit send request. We get the request on the back end and actually build the audience for you. So here's some pre-built ones that have been done. Let's look at this one. This will be a good example.
So
So,
can it be used to prospect for my own company?
yeah, so traditionally our strength in doing lead generation outreach has been for agencies, web development agencies, marketing agencies, service-based work is really kind of what we're good at. I'll just go out a little tangent here. What our platform allows us to do is develop audiences based around signals, and a signal to us is an action someone takes online that qualifies them as a good lead. So for agencies, a great signal is job postings. We scrape a ton of job posting boards. So if you're a web development agency and there's a job posting out for like a WordPress developer or something like that, that's a great lead for you to pitch them and say, hey, instead of hiring a WordPress developer, why don't you use our services? So job postings is like one example that works well for us. So like I said, the power of our platform is really a lot of the custom scrapers we've built, where we're able to find out some very unique information about people, and we're able to get extremely high open rates and response rates on our campaigns just because of the context that our platform allows us to get about people.
So if I wanted to go after dentists or lawyers, you're able to do those sorts of things?
Yeah, definitely. So that kind of reminds me of, we've got scrapers for Yelp, and what we'll do is we'll go through, so let's just say it's dentists. We'll go through, we'll scrape all the dentists in a certain area. We also pull in like how many reviews they have, what their star ranking is, all this other information about them. And you can kind of reach out to them and be like, hey, we stumbled across your Yelp posting. Looks like you only have 1 or 2 reviews and your ratings aren't that high, or, whatever the problem is. Why don't you get in contact with us? We'd love to give you a free audit and help you figure this out. And so, like I said, adding the context to our audiences, there would be the star ratings, the reviews, all this extra information. Like I said, our average open rate is 70 to 85%, and our positive response rates are anywhere from 15 to 25%, which, I think it's quite a bit higher than a lot of other services out there. That's when we're doing all the strategy and copywriting and stuff. But like I said, go ahead.
Can you scrape on like businesses that haven't claimed their My Business profile? Or
We have not come across that request yet, but we're at a stage where every request we get that's new and unique, we're building new features all the time, so I would say that's completely within our wheelhouse. We can definitely try and figure out how to do that for you if that's something you're interested in.
Okay.
So are you it seems like your mind's going maybe more towards lead generation for your own agency.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, are you guys doing any sort of cold email outreach already to drum up leads?
Yeah, we're doing a little bit. I have a sales rep, Spencer Day, doing that. Various channels. Came on board with her own list. She manually scrapes on her own as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's kind of a manual process. She's going through, picking out leads, setting up the drip campaigns, following up with them.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we work with people in full service and on demand. So, some companies, they have processes in place. They have a salesperson, they have their own copy that they know converts, and they just want they want the leads. They're like, hey, if you can find these super unique leads for us, that's all we want. And we charge on demand, we charge $1 a lead per an audience. And that's kind of a great way. I tell people that's kind of our best way to kind of start working with us and kind of see how we operate and how we're unique. One thing that sets us apart from pretty much every other lead gen service out there, and is something I really want to keep doing as long as people don't take advantage of it, is that we allow you to, once you get an audience like this, if you're still looking at my screen, you can come through and decline any audience or any lead that you don't like. So say we come back, we usually build a sample audience of like 25 to 30, and we say, okay, how does this look? And you go through and you comment and you decline, and you're like, okay, this is a good lead for this reason, this one's not good because of whatever. And then we take that feedback and then we go back and we build the full audience of a couple hundred or however many it is. So we don't make people pay for anything they don't want to pay for. So if we do a shitty job and come back with bad leads, like, you just decline them all, and it's no risk on your part. We feel pretty passionate about like not wanting to make people pay for leads that aren't necessarily good for them, and so we're definitely taking the position of being higher quality with the way we build these, but also the actual process of allowing you to come in and review and comment.
So how are people down selecting these, or putting the thumbs down on a lead? What are they giving besides that?
Would you mind repeating that? I'm not sure if I caught that.
Well, you were saying you don't have to pay for leads you don't want. If I'm looking at this list, and how are people deciding that they wouldn't want a particular lead by just looking at the list?
They'll visit the web. Usually, it's like website. They'll tell us, okay, we like the positioning's a little off. They're like, okay, well, we wanted a head of company, but we don't want the CTOs. Or they'll look at the website and be like, okay, well, yeah, it did fit our
I see.
request, but this one's actually, there's always edge cases, right? And we don't want to make
Yeah.
people pay for the edge cases. And part of the platform is when you put in a request over here, you'll see we've got a commenting system. So you'll see the request come through. We're usually asking questions and digging in a little bit, trying to figure out, the unique way to build the audience and how to do it. So everything's you're very much in the loop. You'll see it as it's built. You get to review you get a sample to review, and then you get to review the full audience. And so, yeah, that's how we work in what we call an on-demand basis, a
You get
dollar per lead.
you get more information than what's on the screen here. You're trying to, or people just going.
No,
Get more.
here, I'll show you. Hold on one second. So we're pulling in social handles, GitHub, LinkedIn, biographies. That's personal data for the company. We're pulling in descriptions, locations, social profiles, technologies, tags. One of the big signals we do for people is technology. If you're an e-commerce company or e-commerce development company, we target Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, things like that. And so, like I said, one of the things that really helps people wrap their mind of what we do is just examples of what we've done in the past. I've got a ton of campaigns we've run for agencies in the past. I'll definitely share those with you after the call. But it really is like we just encourage people to get as creative as possible. Like, what is your ideal customer, and who have you not been able to talk to for whatever the reason is, and you can fill that out, and we validate it. Sometimes people give us requests, and it's like just way out there. We have to tell them, no, that's not really possible. We can't sneak into people's houses and figure that stuff out. But yeah, for the most part, we're positioning ourselves as a very manual, high-end process on how we go about this stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. I'm interested.
Yeah. So that's the on-demand stuff. I'll show you our full service interface real quick.
Your screen hasn't updated since the thumbs down thing. I don't know if you changed it or not.
It is changing. You don't see something that says content marketing job postings?
No. No, that's kind of weird.
Let me stop. I'm gonna stop sharing and reshare.
Okay.
Oh, I was showing you all sorts of cool stuff. Hopefully my words described it adequately. Okay, I shared it again. Let's see.
Okay, I see the content marketing.
Okay, cool. So this is when we do full service campaigns, and you can see here, is it scrolling when I scroll?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So every campaign goes through a certain number of steps, action items. If we're running campaigns for people, they get to see where we are in the process, from research to building to launching. Insights is very important to us. Every campaign we run, every audience we build is an experiment, a scientific process where we're testing something. Like, if we're not testing something in a campaign, it's kind of a wasted campaign for us. So insights about what we've done in the past is very important to us, and we keep track of those. Performance, pretty standard if you've ever seen an email outreach drip campaign software. Who's responding, who's interested, who's not interested, the touches. We actually pull in the audience here for who's interested and not interested. Again, commenting system, we usually start by just describing the goal, what we're trying to do, and who the targeting is, and we usually refine that via communication with the client, where they're like, okay, that sounds good, but maybe adjust the targeting. So clients are involved as much as they want to be, or hands off as much as they want to be. Up here, we link to assets, the Google Doc for the copy, but most importantly is the audience who we're actually sending emails to, and that, if we click this, it'll just take us to the screen I showed you earlier. So audiences are part of campaigns. They're just the people we're reaching out to. And then, yeah, just some status of it, who's in charge of it. But what this has allowed us to do is streamline, standardize the process, turn campaigns out quickly, but also communicate just stay organized and communicate with the client. So if we're doing full service campaigns, this is how we manage it. And the way it works is people just share an email address with us. You created us a new email address. We send everything from that email address, and responses get forwarded to whoever the appropriate person is in your organization. They'll just get the positive responses of people saying, hey, yeah, sounds good. Let's set up a meeting. So pretty hands off. All you're getting is the good stuff coming to your email address.
So you must be sending out good emails and good lists and whatnot to get the deliverability on your emails consistently.
Yeah, I mean, we don't send campaigns that are over a couple hundred a pop. Like, there's people that'll return lead lists of thousands, and it's just, you can't game the context when you do that. And so we're sending, it's like anywhere from 100 to 300. That's our batches, our cohorts. And yeah, I mean, our deliverability rate we've got 4 techniques for finding email addresses. And so deliverability there is in the 95, 96, 97%. So we usually get through. Like I said, it's this, what we call the signal. It's how we build the audience that gives us this context. I'll give you an example. A web development company we worked with, they were doing e-commerce, right?
Yeah.
So we went out, found everybody running Magento, and we scraped all the sites, and we found the ones that were broken on mobile. They didn't have meta tags or viewport tags, or they had something wrong. It wasn't displaying properly. So what we did is we pulled them in, created a little cohort audience out of them, and our copy was like, hey, we just ran across your site. It's broken on mobile. Here's the fix. We actually gave them the code. So we're providing value to them. We're not just saying like, hey, we see you. We're actually giving them something of value. We provide the code, and then we say, oh yeah, by the way, we actually specialize in this. We'd love to do a free audit. That campaign did really well for that company. And we're always, like, anybody can go through and pull out SIC codes, employee count, industries, right? At that point, you're just reaching out to somebody and being like, hey, you're in our industry. We should talk. Like, that works sometimes, and sometimes that's okay. But we're going for that extra context. We're going for the job postings, the broken websites, any little extra information we can get about people, and that's why we're able to get these positive response rates in like the 15, 20, 25% range.
I see. So that's kind of your differentiator versus just me going out and buying a list from somebody. I mean, the extreme case would be Info Group, I guess, I can buy a list from, right?
Yeah, I mean, lead gen list services are a dime a dozen, and we're just really not trying to compete with them. Yeah, you're going to be able to go to get, per lead pricing way cheaper for sure, and they'll probably be thousands, but you're going to have to weed through them. I don't know. I mean, personally, I've never used them because I've always had this platform that we've built, and so it's hard to say how good or bad they are for us. But yeah.
So your platform is building up more positive signals into each contact, or building the list up based on more signals than just scraping one sort of.
Yeah. So one of back here, if my screen's still updating, it'll show you all the columns we can turn on and off for an audience. And up here, there's a variable 1, 2, 3. This is where we stuff data that we get. So if we're scraping job posting boards, we'll stuff the name of the job in there. So in the email, that's a customization token. We can be like, hey, saw you're looking for a junior WordPress developer. And so that's a lot of our power gets stuffed into those variables, depending on what we're doing. So if we were scraping Yelp, you'd get the number of reviews put in there. So you could use them however you want. One thing we have found just from a strategy standpoint is like we get all this information about people, and what we used to do in the past is like put all these tokens in where we're like, okay, we know this, 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 and this about you, and we actually realized like leaving a lot of that out produced better results. Like just knowing that they have bad ratings and bad stars or a broken website. You don't necessarily have to explicitly say it because people are pretty privy and know how replacement tokens work. It's just knowing that it's the right time and they fit your criteria. It allows you to write a more customized email. That was just kind of, we've sent so many campaigns that we've got all these learnings in place about subjects and techniques. And that's one thing we found, that using all those replacement tokens sometimes isn't the best strategy.
Yeah. So really, it's we can customize these campaigns to get pretty specific about who we're.
Yeah, I would say I haven't ran across another. I mean, I'm always looking at competitors and what else is out there, and I haven't ran across anybody that's offering the type of customization that we do. Like, I don't know anybody else out there that's scraping job postings and turning those into outreach lists. I don't know anybody that's looking for, at least not in an automated service way. Like, I've talked to lots of agencies that do great custom outreach campaigns, but it's super manual. They've got an intern, or they've got an SDR, or they've got somebody going through and just building out a spreadsheet. And, for $1 a lead, we can put together a 100-person list for you, and you're gonna save your people a ton of time. So I guess that's our position is like it's not possible for people to do this, but we just feel like it's going to be cost effective, just because we're set up to do it in such an efficient way.
Right. Um, can you provide a little bit of feedback too? Like if I had mentioned, I'm one of the things we're doing is trying to push Facebook ads to certain industry niches and whatnot, like restaurant. Um, are you able to suggest, like, here's kind of how we might build this list, or
Yeah, like I said, I mean, if people put in a request, we talk about it. Like, there's a commenting system. Like, if you guys just kind of start to conceptualize what you want, we can work with you. And I don't mind hopping on the phone and helping you kind of like I said, once you see some examples and you get a couple through, you'll really understand the process, and you'll see, okay, this is what the limits are, this is what we can do, and then you can just start putting in requests when you want. It's kind of hard, yeah, right off the bat, it's kind of hard to know what's possible, and so we help people out get to that point. And like I said, I've
yeah,
got a whole list of stuff we've ran for agencies in the past. I've got about 3 or 4 unique campaigns we've ran for agencies, some examples of influencer outreach, and some examples of lead gen. And reading those is, it'll start to kind of spark a little creativity in you and what's possible.
okay. If I wanted you to run the whole campaign, what does the cost look like on that?
So I'll just tell you, when we do full service lead generation for like a B2B business,
Uh-huh.
that's 2,000 a month, and that what they're paying for there is like the strategy, the positioning. These people are usually early stage companies. They don't have the resources. They don't know who their personas are, and we're helping them not only do outreach, but almost kind of define their business in a way. Like the
Uh,
results we get back from some of these lead gen campaigns, they're like, hey, our ideal persona is a director of e-commerce. And we'll run tests, and we'll be like, well, actually, the director of e-commerce responded at a 10% lower rate than the operations COO. And so they're getting learnings for their whole company. So that's when we do full service, like they're paying for our strategy and our
right.
creativity and our campaigns. What we're working on though with agencies is it's a little different for them, and it would have to be kind of a custom quote depending on what we work out. But what I've been trying to do is set up on demand full service, that's a mouthful, on demand campaigns where you can just be like, hey, I want to do an SEO link building campaign, this is who I want to target, here's our standard template, get it done. And so that would kind of be an on-demand fashion. So if you want to explore that, I would say we should chat a little more. And we're set up to integrate with you and your team in a myriad of ways, from full service to just on-demand audiences, and we can work out something in between. That's why the agency thing's so cool for me. Like, this is a very powerful tool, and if I can get it in the hands of really smart marketers, there's going to be some really cool campaigns they can do. So we're definitely willing to work with you in some sort of hybrid fashion if that's what you guys need.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like it. I mean, we have a good sense of who our customer is and whatnot. So, probably the best place for me to think about starting is just lead lists. And
Okay, so it kind of sounds like, again, you're just leaning towards doing lead generation for yourself, maybe to start off with.
yes.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I would say the best way to get started with that is I can set you up with an account. You can log in. There'll be some like demo information in there for you. But either you can put in a request or I can help you walk through it. We can fill it out together. But we're basically offering people like 30 free prospects to try us out. So I would say sign up. Think of a signal you want to do or something you want to try. Maybe think of 2 or 3 you want to try. And you can email them to me, or you can just fill out. You can use the platform. Platform's the easiest, but if you want to work on them and get some feedback, maybe email them to me. I'll put them in the platform for you. And then, yeah, we'll build a little sample list for you. You can see how it works, how we comment, how we review. You can, see the quality, and it'll start. You'll get comfortable with how it works, and you'll really be able to start thinking up some cool campaigns after that.
So what do you need from me then?
Nothing. I'll just set you up with an account and an email address, and all I need is your ideas of what you want to do. Like I said, you can use the form to fill out. That's eventually how we would work together. So maybe try and use that. But if you just want to send me an email about what you want to try to do, I can work with that too.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
Great.
And I think I told you it's if you want to do full audits, it's $1 a lead, and you don't have to pay for any of the ones you don't want. But I guess let me ask you this: what's your kind of time frame here? Do you want to try and use those 30 free prospects sometime this week, or how long do you think it'll take to put together some ideas?
No, I think within the next week. I want to talk it over in terms of target audience that we want to go after.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm pretty interested in taking a shot at it for sure.
Yeah, very cool. That's great to hear. Let me ask you this: is there any, we're talking about lead gen for your agency. Do you see this fitting in any sort of your SEO link building outreach, or maybe some content marketing? Do you see this as something you could use for your clients?
Yeah. I do. We haven't pushed real hard sometimes in that space. We end up pushing real hard in other areas, and perhaps client doesn't have the budget. But we've run outreach campaigns on our own, and they've worked well.
Yeah. Do you promise your clients like a certain number of links if you're doing SEO? Obviously, like the link building's a core service there. Are you promising them a certain number of links a month, or how does that work for you guys?
No, we're just focused on results at the end of the day, and however we get there is how we get there. So we don't get into promising deliverables like you're going to get X links and we're going to spend this much time on links.
Yeah, gotcha.
Typically, they hire us to just get leads on an organic perspective, which is going to cover all the content generation. If we're doing infographics, we have to do outreach, whatever that is. That's kind of how we structure it.
So I'll just mention this, and this is definitely, I would assume, a ways down the road if you guys want to do this. But what our service allows agencies like you to do in the ultimate use case is run a sales as a service for your clients. So we actually work with an agency now, and they did content, they did social, they did a little bit of SEO. But what we've allowed them to do is open up a whole nother branch of services. So they run lead generation outreach. What I'm offering, they do for their clients. So they do this, they work with them on strategy, they work with them on the copy, and their clients have no concept of us, but we're providing the data for them. So I guess let me, just to, in the spirit of piquing your creativity, if you ever have clients that are like, yeah, might be worth mentioning just to test the water. If you have clients that would be interested in cold outreach, because in terms of channel, I was running a marketing agency before this, and content's long term, SEO's long term, social. In terms of immediate value, like the cold outreach is like the best way for people to validate ideas and start getting business. And it was always one of our most popular products, which segued into this business. So I guess I'll just throw that out there. That's kind of ultimately what we've enabled companies to do, is open marketing agencies, is to open up whole new branches of services. So I would just
Yeah.
say maybe think about that, and if it comes up in a conversation, maybe just pitch it, float it to your client, and see if that's something they would be willing to pay for.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page as you. I totally believe in cold outreach. So, yeah, we're on the same page, and absolutely, it's one of those things once you have awareness of a service area and then you have your ears open to it with the client, it becomes easier to pitch it and just create awareness for that service.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. No, it'd be really cool. It would just make my day if agencies, if our only clients were agencies and they were able to just open up. It's so much easier to work with marketers when they understand like how it works and what's capable. It's harder to do the full service stuff for some of these companies. So, yeah,
Yeah.
if I could only support agencies, I think I'd be a happier person.
Yeah. No, I hear you there.
Very cool. Well, do you have any other questions for me? Is there anything else I can show you? Like I said, I'll send you a ton of examples of what we've done in the past. I'll set you up with an account. I'll send you the login information so you can see the platform. And then, yeah, we'll do a little audience for free for you. Just either use the platform to do the request or send it to me via email. But other than that, is there anything that comes to mind?
No, I think that's awesome. I'm going to talk it over here with my team, and
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to give it a shot. I think it's a great idea.
Cool, 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 cool. All right. Well, I will send you that stuff. I'll look for an email or a request to come through. If you need help putting that together, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll help you kind of outline it and get it ready. And if I don't happen to hear from you, maybe I'll reach out beginning of next week and see where you guys are at.
Perfect. That
Awesome.
sounds great.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time. Enjoy the sun down there in San Diego. We don't get enough of it in San Francisco.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Good talking to you.
Okay, you too. Take care.
Bye.